My name is Bernard. I have two elder sisters and a younger brother. It was quite a challenge in the early years. My father was a hard worker and a good provider. He became a publican, and throughout this time, I learned a lot from him by working alongside him and dealing with people. Early in my teens, I was chatty and sociable and easily fitted into most situations. In my late teens, I was eventually diagnosed as being dyslexic. This was also called thick or stupid by most of the educational fraternity at that time. My father wanted me to be a doctor. This was quite a challenge, as it would require 3 good grade A-level passes and mathematics at O-level. I have 7 O-levels and 3 A-levels. I ended up becoming a radiographer. At this time, I also got married to my wife when I was 22. I realised I was becoming more and more ambitious, and so eventually I left radiography and ended up working in a neuro department on CT scanners. I worked there for 4 years. I was then approached by a Scandinavian company to sell contrast media, which is X-ray dye. I was really successful at this, and then I got promoted to the north, so myself and my wife relocated, and we had our first son, James. We moved quite a few times, and I became very good at selling the product. So much so, I effectively became a sales trainer. Then came the change in life, for reasons which I probably never understand. My wife filed for a divorce on unnamed grounds. This left me broken and totally rejected, and I had to move on. And suddenly I found myself taking a caretaker's job in Knightsbridge in London. And then I met a lady who was about to go to China to teach English. So we got married and we went to China. We had a fantastic time of us both teaching English. We were treated like kings. After a couple of years, she wanted to roam and return to South Africa, where she was originally born. I went with her to South Africa, near to Cape Town, and I had a range of interesting experiences. It was an incredible life. I lived there for 3 years before moving back to the UK. I started to become aware that I had problems with my mental health and went to see my doctor, who thought it was depression, and he prescribed me Prozac. I took the tablets and felt better for having a label to hang things on. Eventually I was well enough to stop taking the tablets. I got a job at IKEA, which was going well until a few months ago. I had a near-miss incident in IKEA. That was not my fault. A forklift truck driver had come round the corner at speed, around a narrow aisle, and missed me by a second. My heart rate shot up and didn't come down. I became really angry, to the point that I wanted to rip the driver's head off. I was quickly dragged away by a manager, and I feel I have a case to prove since then. Eventually I was diagnosed as having post-traumatic anxiety. I have a good relationship with my GP. I attend on a regular basis Gateshead Clubhouse and the Comfrey Project. I have a very good relationship with both centres. I enjoy my time spent there, and I've learnt a lot and benefited by the time spent in both. What works for me is the friendly atmosphere and the chance to join in and take part of useful courses. I have 2 sons with a big age gap between them, and they are 2 very different characters in a positive way. Despite the fact they never got on with each other, they both learnt and benefited from each other. They are now very much grown up and have arrived in 2 similar places and lifestyles from 2 different and conflicting directions. I love them both dearly and regret that I can't communicate with Chris. In the future, I hope to build bridges with both my sons, but I know that this will take some time, and maybe for Chris it might be in retrospect. But then again, I know I can hold myself together. At the moment, I am conscious that I am at a pivotal but happy place in my life. I embrace the future with hope and happiness.